Today, we're going to talk about the life after death, grave, Barzakh, and judgment. The first 24 hours in the grave. I'm Cleofe from the Cleofe podcast. Let's move on to the deep dive, but as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to help spread the word. Also, if you like to contribute to our Dawah, spreading Islam all over the globe mission, then hit the join and thanks buttons. Now, Jack and Wilson, we'd love to hear your deep dive.
Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we are wrestling with a subject that is terrifyingly inevitable. The journey that starts the second after death.
That's right. We've compiled some detailed transcripts that map out really a step-by-step theological framework for those final moments of life and what comes immediately after.
What's often called life in the grave.
Exactly. It's an intensely detailed exploration. These sources, they're not just philosophical. They're trying to provide a structured guide to what they call the intermediate world.
So our mission today is to unpack that, to really look at what happens in the final seconds before the soul leaves, and what these sources suggest is waiting for you in, say, the first 24 hours after you're buried.
It's a roadmap for the ultimate transition,
Yeah.
where the rules of our physical world just stop and the spiritual reality completely takes over.
Let's start right there, at the very edge. The experience known as sakaratul maut.
The agonies of death. The sources describe this as the end of all human denial. It's that moment you realize, this is it, I am leaving.
And the physical description is just, it's overwhelming. A pitch dark feeling, a sudden pain in the chest, your mind just dissolving into chaos.
And it's fascinating because there's this breakdown of time itself. Internally, you're panicking, you're gasping for air.
Yeah.
But the world outside feels like it's moving in agonizing slow motion.
You see your loved ones, right? Reciting prayers, trying to give you a sip of water with, shaking hands.
Yes, there's a powerful duality there. On the outside, it's a silent farewell.
Yeah.
But inside your mind, your entire life is flashing by in a split second.
Everything. Childhood, successes, regrets.
All of it. In a blinding flash. It's like the instant summation of your whole existence. And it's all underpinned by that foundational belief. Every soul will taste death. Then to us, you will all be returned.
That verse really sets the stage for the true climax, which isn't physical at all, is it? It's a spiritual battle.
It's the ultimate test of conviction. This is the moment when Shaytan, or Satan, launches his final, most aggressive attacks.
Why then? Because you're at your weakest.
Precisely. You're physically and mentally drained, and he sees his last, best opportunity to strike.
So his goal, it's more than just a general mischief here. What's the specific aim?
His one single, overwhelming desire is to make you lose your faith in that last breath. He knows if he can just inject that one seed of doubt right at the end, you die in a state of spiritual denial. The stakes are everything.
And the whispers described in the sources, they're not generic, are they? They're tailored to your specific weaknesses.
Exactly. Questioning God's existence, pushing you towards something rebellious you always struggled with. I mean, it's so dangerous that even the prophet himself sought refuge from being led astray by Shaytan at the time of death.
Wow. If he needed that protection, it just highlights how vulnerable everyone else is.
It really does. And it ties directly into that concept. You die as you live. If your life was about my money, my fame, that's what's going to fill your mind. But if you were a believer, you'd be clinging to mercy, saying things like Ya Rab, Ya Latif.
Which brings us to that apple analogy from the sources. It's such a powerful image.
It's a crucial insight, yeah. The idea is, if your faith is just something you hold in your hand, like an apple superficial, maybe just cultural Shaytan can easily snatch it away when you're weak.
If you've eaten the apple.
Right. If you've digested it, if those truths have sunk deep into your heart, mind, and soul, it becomes a part of you. The thief can't take what's already inside.
So the test isn't about what you can recite. It's about what you've integrated into your being.
Absolutely. Your actions, your whole life becomes the evidence. And that difference, that deep-seated belief, dictates how the angel of death arrives.
For the righteous, it's described as beautiful.
It is. Angels in pure white, the scent of paradise, and the good news. Do not fear and do not grieve. It's an immediate relief.
And for the non-believer?
It's the opposite. Extreme pain, denial. They're face-to-face with the reality they rejected, and they're screaming for just one more chance. But it's over.
And with that, you cross the threshold. Death isn't an ending, it's a transition.
To the realm of Barzakh. It literally means barrier or partition. Think of it like a waiting room. It's not the final destination.
It starts at death and ends at the resurrection.
Correct. And crucially, The sources are clear that the verdict is immediate. The grave is either a garden from the gardens of paradise or a pit from the pits of the fire. Right away.
That is a rapid shift. So while the soul is entering Barzakh, back on Earth, the physical rituals are happening. The washing, the prayers.
The ghusl on the cold marble, yes. The family's tears, the funeral prayer, the janazah, and then being carried to the grave.
And here's the part that is just so chilling. The soul. It watches all of this.
Directly. It is fully conscious. It sees its own body being washed. It sees the prayer. It sees itself being lowered into the ground.
You're attending your own funeral.
And you even hear the sound of footsteps as your loved ones walk away, leaving you completely alone in the dark.
There's a saying of the prophet about that, isn't there? About what follows you.
Yes. 3 things. Your family, your wealth, and your deeds. The family and wealth turn back. Only the deeds remain with you. And that's why the righteous soul wants a speedy burial, but the wicked soul wants to delay it. They know it's coming next.
So, once the last bit of soil is thrown on, the interrogation begins. But for the good soul, something happens first. A journey upwards.
A brief but incredible journey. The sources describe angels white as the sun arriving with a shroud and perfume from paradise. The angel of death gently coaxes the soul out, and it glides out easily.
And it's wrapped in this beautiful scent.
The sweetest musk, and it's raised through the skies. And as it passes each level, the angels there greet it, calling it by the best names it was known by on earth.
It's like an honor guard.
It's an immediate welcome. When it reaches the highest point, Allah commands for the soul to be recorded in Ilion, the register of the righteous. But then it has to go back.
Back to the grave for the questioning.
Back to the grave for the questioning by the 2 angels, Munkar and Nakir.
And they ask 3 questions that basically summarize everything.
They do. Simple, but profound. In Arabic, it's Man Rabbuka. Who is your Lord? Then, what is your religion? And finally, who is this man who is sent among you?
And the sources are so clear that the answer doesn't come from memory. It's not a quiz.
Not at all. It comes from conviction. If you lived it, the answers just, they flow. Your Lord is Allah. Your religion is Islam. The man is Muhammad, the messenger of Allah.
And then your good deeds, they literally become a physical defense.
It's an amazing concept.
Yeah.
They aren't just points on a scoreboard. They materialize. Your prayers stand guard at your head, fasting on your right, charity on your left, other good deeds at your feet.
They form a barrier.
A barrier to protect you from the grave crushing your body. They provide comfort.
Okay, so let's look at the 2 outcomes here because they are dramatically different for the one who answers correctly.
The grave. It stops being a grave. It expands as far as the eye can see. It becomes this vast, peaceful space. A window to paradise, to Jannah, is opened.
And you
get a bed from paradise. And you spend your time in Barzakh watching the beautiful scenes, filled with peace, until the day of judgment. A garden.
A garden. But for those who can't answer, whose hearts weren't aligned with their words.
The horror begins almost instantly. The gates of hell are opened, and the heat, the awful smell, it floods the grave.
And instead of expanding,
It tightens. It begins to crush the body until the ribs intertwine.
and just like the good deeds materialize, the bad ones do too.
Yes. A dark-faced, filthy clothed figure appears and says, I am your evil deeds.
Oh, wow.
The interest you took, the backbiting, the forbidden things you looked at, sin becomes your constant, oppressive companion.
And that soul's prayer is the opposite of the righteous ones.
Desperate, they plead, My Lord, do not let the hour come. The punishment right now is so overwhelming they can't even fathom the final judgment.
The intensity of this it's hard to grasp. There's a hadith about the prophet hearing this, isn't there?
Yes, he almost fell from his animal because he could hear the suffering in nearby graves. And he said that if he wasn't afraid that the sheer terror would stop people from burying their dead, he would have asked Allah to let everyone hear it.
That just emphasizes that this isn't some far-off, abstract thing. This spiritual reality is happening right now, right beneath our feet.
Exactly. It connects the invisible world directly to ours. Judgment isn't just a future event. It's immediate and intensely personal.
So the sources for this deep dive, they really end with a challenge. They frame this information finding its way to you, the listener, as something intentional.
Right, as a prompt to make a change now, to start praying, to strengthen your faith. Because the key insight here is the intense immediacy of it all. Your very first stop is the grave, and a verdict is rendered right there.
The shift from our physical reality, the cold marble, the silence, to the spiritual one where the soul is fully conscious, watching its own funeral, it changes everything.
It has to. Because if the grave is either a garden or a pit of fire, instantly, then the way we think about time and place has to radically change.
Which leaves us with a final thought to mull over.
Given that this verdict is delivered immediately and your deeds provide literal physical protection or punishment, how must we reevaluate our definition of future security right now, in this life?
A truly challenging thought to carry with you. Thank you for joining us on the Deep Dive.
We'll see you next time.
Thank you for joining us for today's podcast. I hope you've gained some valuable insights. If you're a truth seeker, yearning for divine light and ready to step out of darkness, now is your moment. The truth is that Allah is the one and only creator of the universe. He has sent over 124,000 messengers and prophets to guide humanity, starting with Adam and culminating with the final messenger, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon them all. If you resonate with this message, you might be ready to embrace Islam. Simply recite the Shahada, the Islamic declaration of faith. For further support, feel free to join our WhatsApp group. You can send us a private message there. The link is in the video description. Don't wait until it's too late. We look forward to connecting with you soon.